Hello team, I hope you're all well. Today I am here to talk to you about the next Cliterature Readathon. I'm so excited. I've been excited about this Cliterature Readathon since the last one in February. I have been so excited about it. I've done the bingo board for this one back in February and I've been looking at it ever since. I've been so excited about it. I'm very, very proud of it as well. My patrons have had a sneak peek at this bingo board, so, well, a handful of them have anyway. And I'm just very, very excited. If you don't know what Cliterature Readathon is, I used to run a smutty book club called Cliterature Book Club. But it just became a little bit too much. I had a lot on my plate. We were struggling with the live shows, and honestly, to discuss romance in a book club that is on most of the time purely smut is a little bit difficult. There's not a lot to say, so it became quite taxing. I was running it on my own, and sometimes it was hard as well to get another 2 people to join me on the live show, in which we could all do a time that suited everybody, because I was picking people from all over the world as well, so that was difficult as well, and it just became too much. I had too much on my plate, so instead of just shutting the whole thing down, somebody recommended that I turn it into a readathon that maybe happens a couple of times a year. So I ended up doing that. We had our first readathon in February, around about the time for Valentine's Day. It just made sense. And then I googled when else to do it throughout the year, and it turns out apparently August is the month of love. I had no idea, would have assumed that was February, but apparently not. August is the month of love, so I was like, perfect, we'll do it in August. So we have a week-long round in August from the 5th to the 11th of August. 4-week, Monday to Sunday. Very excited. There is a bingo board. I do have recommendation boards for you as well. All the information will be linked in the description box down below. You can get the bingo board, you can get TBR templates, and you can get the recommendation graphics, all of them down in the description box down below. Feel free to go and check those out if you want to get hold of them. I will also post the bingo board to Instagram as well, and the recommendations, so they are available over there probably within a couple of days of this video going live. And yeah, I'm really, really stoked. We also have a Discord channel as well, so if you want to check that out, there will also be a link for that in the description box down below. So let's get into our bingo board. Let me shuffle so that I can, because I'm going to hold like 5 recommendations up for you as well, for not each of the prompts, you will see why in a minute, but for a couple of the prompts that will fit other prompts. So let me get the bingo board up on my phone so I can see it. I'm so excited about this bingo board. Tell me whether or not you like it. I'm really stoked. I've been using the same template of this bingo board that I made for Cliterature Readathon for my F1 Patreon Readathon now. Because I just love it so much. Not the colour scheme, obviously I changed the colour scheme, but this layout of the bingo board, I'm obsessed with it. I love it. So this is round 2, obviously. And in round 1, people were suggesting, because I was going on about the fact that I think at the time I wanted to read a Christmas romance. I have so many on my shelves, and when December comes around, I just don't have the time to get to them all, and I feel like you can only read Christmas books in December, which is ridiculous, because I will happily read like Halloween romance books or autumn romance books all year round. I'll read summer romance books all year round. Why can't I read Christmas ones? And I think it's because it's dedicated to the holiday as opposed to the season. So we decided, someone recommended doing like seasonal prompts on the bingo board, and I decided to whack the seasons on here. Now you can see that as a specific holiday if you want to, so like autumn or fall, depending on how you say it. You can see that as like Halloween specific if you want to. Winter, you can see it's Christmas specific if you want to, but I've popped them on as the seasons to allow for other options. So you will notice that here's the bingo board, by the way. You will notice that the seasons are on each corner. I wanted to kind of split them up, but pop them on each corner. So we're going to go from left to right across the bingo board, and we're going to go through it. So for spring, I have 5 recommendations for you here that just are recommendations from me. I've read all of these. No, I haven't. There's one I haven't read, but the cover screams spring to me. That one is Late Bloomer by Maisie Edens. This just screams spring. Now, it doesn't have to be set in spring. If you think a cover screams spring, it counts. There are no rules to this. Whatever you think. If you think this screams spring and you want to read it for the spring prompt, go ahead. But yeah, I think this screams spring. This was an example of something that could be a season without maybe actually being set in spring. I don't know when the book's set. I haven't read it. But this one is an option. Again, Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. Screams spring to me. I don't know if it does for anyone else, but this screams spring to me. Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I'm fairly certain this one is actually set in spring. I'm sure it is. But Heartstopper, in general, I think could be, depending on what volume you're picking up, you could potentially pick up one for each season. I can't remember. In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. Now, B.K. Borison is an author that does a book for every season. Perfect. You have In the Weeds for summer. No. You have In the Weeds for spring. You have Mixed Signals for summer. You have Business Casual for autumn, which is the latest release, and you have Love Lights Farm for winter. I would recommend starting at Love Lights Farm and then making your way through the season. So Love Lights Farm, In the Weeds, Mixed Signals, and then Business Casual. So start at winter and make your way through the seasons that way round. The characters do cross over. You're following different couples, but you will meet the other couples from previous books in the next book. So just be wary of that going in. But this is literally the spring book from B.K. Borison in the Love Lights Farm series. And then again, Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score screams summer to me. It's got daisies on the cover. Okay, then we have a POC author. So obviously read a romance from POC author. Couple of examples: Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and 7 Days in June. Couple of POC authors of books that I have loved previously, but there are obviously a bazillion more. So do have a butcher's around, see if you can get recommendations from people if you don't know of any or you haven't got any on your shelves. Have a butcher's. Then we have a new to you trope. So if there is something, a trope, for example, that you haven't read a lot of, tropes being like fake dating, enemies to lovers, friends to lovers, the accidental pregnancy trope, for example, literally anything that you would count as a trope, and there is one that you haven't read from before or one that you don't read a lot of for whatever reason, pick that trope as a new to you trope. And for me, I actually don't know what I'm gonna pick. I hate love triangles, so I'm not gonna do that one on purpose. I don't like them. I'm gonna have to have a look, maybe Google a list of tropes and see what comes up and see what's something that I'm potentially lacking in that I haven't read a lot of, maybe, and broaden my horizons. Okay, next we do have summer, and for this I have 5 recommendations for you. So we do have 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, POC author, set in summer. It's got the word June on it. Fantastic book, absolutely love this one, would highly recommend. Flawless by Elsie Silver. I don't know if these are necessarily set in summer, I've no idea, but a cowboy romance to me screams summer. Tell me I'm wrong. Love this series, love it, fantastic. You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry, or People We Meet on Vacation if you are in the US. Love Emily Henry's books, the majority of them are summer reads, so recommend those. And then I've got a couple of graphic novels. I've got The Girl from the Other Side, The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag. This was really, really good, and it's also queer. And I also have Bloom by Kevin Panetta and Savannah Ganucciu, which is also queer. Very good, very pretty. If you like Heartstopper, you'll love this one. Very pretty graphic novels. Then we do have poll pick, so whack a poll pick on, whether that be on Instagram. You can do it in the Discord channel if you want to. You can do it on Twitter. Just be sure to tag Cliterature Club in there, and we can, again, the links for our Twitter, Instagram, all in the description box down below, and we can give it a share and maybe get you some more votes if you need them. But yeah, I find Instagram and also the Discord are good places for poll picks. I think we actually have a channel for poll picks in the Discord channel, so if you wanted to pop it in there, feel free to do so. Then we have short reads. So this would be anything under 300 pages, a novella if you like. You could, I know these are thicker, but you could pick, I don't have a specific prompt for graphic novels, so if you wanted to do a graphic novel instead of a short read, you could do. I mean, I don't know, this has got under 300 pages in it, so this one could count. This one is probably over 300 pages. Yeah, this one's 349, but if you found a graphic novel that was under 300 pages, you could do that. To be fair, I would probably say this counts anyway, because it doesn't take long to get through. There isn't a lot of text in it. It would count. Then we do have LGBTQ+, so some of the ones that I've already mentioned. We've got Late Bloomer by Maisie Edins, Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake, Heartstopper, The Girl from the Other sorry, not The Girl from the Other Side, The Girl from the Sea, Struggles, and Bloom. These are all queer books if you wanted to check them out. So obviously there is a whole ton of other queer books as well. When I go through the rest of the seasons, if any of those are queer or by POC authors, I will let you know. Next we do have Take Part in a Sprint. So I don't always put reading prompts on these prompt cards. Some of them are like self-care activities or taking part in a sprint, something very easy to tick off. You don't have to hang around for the whole session of sprints. If you take part in just one sprint, that is absolutely fine. Then again, another one is treat yourself. So this could be any type of treat to you. You could treat yourself to a bath, you could treat yourself to a walk, you could treat yourself to a new book, you could treat yourself to a takeaway, whatever it is you want to treat yourself to that you see as a treat to yourself. It can be as big or small as you want it to be. Treat yourself. Pink/red on the cover, literally because that's the colour of the bingo board. There is no other reason. Also the colour of love, you know? I mean, love can be any colour, but generally pink or red. So, I don't know. You and me on vacation? Flawless. It's not going to be difficult to find pink or red on the cover. It doesn't have to be the whole cover. If it's just got a little bit of pink on it or a little bit of red on it, it counts. There are no rules, just pink or red on the cover and or red on the cover. Then we do have a spinner wheel, so another one that is kind of out of your control a little bit. I would always recommend with a poll pick and a spinner wheel that if you pop on some books that you're excited to read and you are happy whatever comes up, and also books that fulfill a handful of the prompts as well, I would always recommend that. I mean, I don't know if that's just common sense and you didn't need to know that, but I've said it anyway. It is what it is. Next we have new release. There are always new romance releases coming out. I would say anything that's come out in 2024 is a new release, so anything from January 2024 onwards counts for that prompt. Then we do have autumn. So we have The X-Hex by Erin Sterling. I love this series and I'm very excited that there's a third one coming out in this series. Very autumnal, spoopy, cutesy, romancy. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, is that? Oh, I thought it was damn. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. I love this book. It's so good. I really enjoy it. There's another one coming out in this series as well, and I highly recommend it. Then we do have Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Evan Hicks. This is a graphic novel, so again, this could count for short read, but also an autumnal read. I love this one. I reread it every single year. I'm obsessed. Mooncakes by Wendy Zhu and Suzanne Walker. This again, another very adorable graphic novel, also queer, so would highly recommend it for that prompt too. And then we have The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. There is another one coming out in this series as well that I'm very excited about, called The Cinnamon Bun Shop. I don't know, I can't remember what it's called, but it's something to do with cinnamon buns, and I'm very excited about it. So those are my autumn recommendations. Then we do have a Steph/friend rec. So you can get a recommendation from literally any of your friends. You could drop in a message in the Discord group. Can someone recommend me a book with this trope, this, and this? And get a recommendation from there and use that to complete this prompt. You can look at any of my recommendations videos. There is a playlist and take recommendations from there. I have also done a graphic for some recommendations from me, some of which I'm going to tell you about now. Any of the books that I've recommended you for seasonal that I've read, the only one I haven't is Late Bloomer. Any of those count. And any book that you may have heard me say, I give this 5 stars and I recommend this to everybody, ever. If I've ever said that, I recommend it. I also have a couple here to go through with you very quickly. I've got Get Alive Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, POC author. She has got, there's a whole series with this, if you haven't already read it, the Brown Sisters series, there's 3. The second one is also queer. There is disability rep in here as well. Absolutely love this series, fantastic, would recommend 100%. This one I haven't read yet, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. However, I've whacked her on here. All of her books are like behind this row because I've read them all. This is the only one I haven't read yet. I just recommend as a whole Abby Jimenez. She's my only 5-star author across the board that I have, so I recommend Abby Jimenez 100%. Her books are fantastic. Then I do have, this is probably a bit of a risky recommendation. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this to everybody. Check your triggers, check the content warnings. I cannot say that with enough urgency. I want to recommend this book to everybody, which is why I want to put it on here. I want everybody to read it because the story itself, the way it is told and everything about it is so beautiful. I am obsessed. However, it is very, 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 very dark. So please check your content warnings, please check your triggers. Do not go into this blind. Under no circumstances should anybody be going into this blind. Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. I'm obsessed with this book. It's one of my favourite books of all time. And I want to recommend it to everybody. I can't because of the content trigger warnings. There is a lot that happens in this and I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. I just want to. Then we have Top Secret by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy. Queer, male romance. Fantastic, absolutely love it. I just recently reread this one. They've also done a series, it's a duology with a novella. The Him series, which is a hockey romance. Very, very good. Also queer. And then Lights Out by Kayla James. I will not stop shouting about this book. I'm obsessed with it. It's an F1 romance. It's my favourite F1 romance that I've ever read. Hands down, absolutely fantastic. Indie author. It should be, I think, still on Kindle Unlimited. She's got an audiobook coming out very, very soon for this. I'm so proud of her. She's absolutely nailed this. And I was very, very lucky to get an e-arc of this before it came out, and I read it. I flew through it. It was so good. I ended up staying up late into the night reading this, and I was obsessed, and I would highly recommend it. Best F1 romance I have ever read, and I have read a handful of them. Outstanding and should be getting more praise. So if you are an F1 fan, or you're getting into your F1 romances and you haven't heard of this one, please go pick it up, show the author some love. She's fantastic, she's so lovely. Obsessed. Okay, next we have a self-care activity. So again, you could do this along with your treat yourself. So if you see like having a bath as self-care but also treating yourself, absolutely fine. A face mask, you know, if to you getting a takeaway is a self-care treat, that is fine. Again, comboing up with the treat yourself and self-care. Whatever self-care looks like to you, going for a walk, whatever it might look like to you, that is absolutely fine. And then last but by no means least, we have winter. I love winter. So again, BK Borison with Love Lights Farm, start here. If you think that it would be a really cool idea, I recommend it. If you think it would be a really cool idea to just read all of BK Borison's books because they are the seasons, start here and work your way through the seasons. Winter, spring, summer, autumn. Do it that way. Do it in release order. I cannot recommend that enough, please. This, outstanding, absolutely loved it. 10 out of 10, would recommend, am recommended. The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Elise, short book. It has disability representation in it, and I loved this fucking book. It was so good. I even recommended it to Jade, and I think she enjoyed it. So much so that she read it in one sitting. She's done a vlog for it. If you wanted to go and check that out, please do so. Jade is not a romance reader. So that says a lot about that book. Another short one, we've got Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. It's good. I liked it. We have A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I really enjoy this series. There is another one coming out in it. There is also a novella in this series called Snow Place Like LA, I think. And there is a second one to this series that I also have. A Merry Little Meet Cute is this one. I can't remember what the second one is called, but I've read it. I read it last year and it's really, really good. And I just really enjoy this series. Would recommend. Quite spicy. And then we have A Cross Country Christmas by Courtney Walsh. I loved this. It was so good. It's under 300 pages, so it's a short read. It was so good. It is the close proximity trope. So if that's something that you don't read a lot of, it's something I don't read a lot of. I have read it, but I don't read a lot of it. Interesting. Close proximity trope. It's literally a road trip. Fantastic. Would recommend. So good. So any of those books you can count for Steph or friend recommendation. So take all of those in if you want, except for the obviously Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, but anything else by her I have read, would recommend 5 stars. And also Late Bloomer by Maisie Edins. I haven't read that one either, but if you did want a Maisie Edins book that I have read, Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake was fantastic. It's got ADHD representation. I absolutely loved it. It does have the pregnancy trope and it is in the synopsis, so it's not a surprise. But if you are, you know, you're not a fan of the pregnancy trope but you're interested in the ADHD representation or the story as a whole, check out the synopsis. Have a butcher's. It's very good. It's the only one that I've read from Maisie Edins, and it's the reason why I got Late Bloomer, because again I think it's got ADHD representation in it. It's also queer. So yeah, that is everything I think you need to know. I think this might be the longest announcement video I've ever done for a readathon, because I don't usually do recommendations like this within the video, but I just thought it might be fun to go through some recommendations while I'm doing the bingo board as well. So again, all of the graphics will be linked down below. There will be a Google Drive folder that you can go and get them all and download them all. I will be posting the bingo board and the recommendation boards on Instagram, not in the same post. I will separate them. And there is a Discord as well that you can join in the description box down below. So I hope you're excited about Cliterature Readathon. It's so hard to get used to not saying book club. I hope you're excited for Cliterature Readathon as much as I am. I am very, very stoked. I cannot wait. Let me know in the comments down below if you're going to take part. Do you have anything in mind that you straight away want to read? Obviously, this is a romance readathon. Fantasy romance 100% counts. Horror romance counts. Suspense romance counts. So thriller romances. Any type of romance counts. It is a romance readathon, so whatever romance looks like to you, it counts. You can still take part. So yeah, leave any recommendations you might have as well in the description box down below if you want to, for any of the seasonal prompts specifically, because I am always looking for recommendations, so that would be great, and I will obviously look through the comments. But yeah, chat to me in the comments down below. Let me know if you're going to take part. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I shall see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.